All right, hey everybody, I hope you guys are doing well today. I'm Caleb and I'm here with Pastor Jayme Montera.
Yep.
And we're just out here at the Southern Idaho Youth Camp, and he's been here all week just getting to speak, invest in students. And after talking for a little bit, we just decided we wanted to sit down, make a quick video, sharing some awesome thoughts. But Pastor Jayme, could you just share a little bit about your background with youth ministry, with ministry in general, that kind of a thing?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is going on my 19th year as I've traveled across this nation preaching as an evangelist. Our kind of launch into youth ministry was a little bit different. I just became a part-time youth pastor, helping out my brother-in-law, and from setting up chairs to driving vans to Sunday school, whatever he needed. I just wanted to just help kids. There was just this passion more than anything. I just wanted to love kids. I wanted to be there. I wanted to be somebody in the altar to pray for, somebody to just be there to help them in times of hurt. And so we started there, and then all of a sudden we jumped into young adult ministry. And when we were doing young adult ministry, and my heart just started burdening for just people and for them to know Jesus.
Yeah.
And so then we planted a church. And man, it exploded, and it was a street church, and we called it Union Point, where the streets meet God. And then the whole time there, my heart just really was burdened for just churches, the lost, traveling. So we launched out into traveling full time. And so my way into youth ministry was a little bit strange. I became a youth pastor, like a full-time youth pastor, after about 14 years in the ministry. And it was because a friend of mine had walked through some tough times in ministry, and they had lost their youth pastor, and he had lost a couple of youth pastors. And he said, "Hey, listen, I just need you to be stubborn. I need you to love God. I need you to love kids. I just need you to not worry or walk away from either one of them."
Yeah.
And so we did. We became full-time youth pastors in 2011. We are still traveling full-time, going crazy on the road. But man, I walked into a youth ministry of about 12 kids, and I just realized, wait a second, man, I was created to not just travel, but to really love kids and help them reach an elevation that they weren't getting to on their own. And so we became full-time youth pastors. Although we were part-time pay, we were full-time youth pastors. Yeah. And man, I was okay with it. We took a youth ministry from about 16 to well over 200, and we did some major outreaches that we scratched at about 4,000 people within 1 year.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
That is so awesome. So with that in mind, just with your background, all these different things, because right now I feel like in youth ministry and with kind of a new generation of students being reached, with Generation Z and all these different turnovers, from your perspective, what are just kind of three main things that you think youth ministry should be focusing on, implementing, just kind of tips that you would have for youth pastors trying to figure it out?
Absolutely. I think, I don't know if there's these go-to points, but one thing that no matter how long, because I've been preaching youth camps especially, and just doing a lot of youth services for the last going on 19 years, no matter what generation they fell into, what their calling was, whether millennials, Gen X, they just wanted authentic.
Yeah.
They just wanted somebody that was going to be real. And it wasn't like they were looking for this three-point sermon or even this great facility. They just wanted somebody that they could be real and would tell them the truth. And so I say the first one would be authenticity.
Yeah.
The pastor has to be authentic all the time. I think another thought would be that he's there or she's there.
Yeah.
Kids, a lot of them are missing parents in homes. A lot of them there's voids in their life, and they're looking for someone that is going to be consistently there.
Yeah.
That if they text them or they call them, they're not necessarily needing to be responded to immediately,
yeah,
but they know that there is going to be a response.
Awesome.
And so you have this authenticity, you have this consistency of them being there. But then the other side of it is they just want somebody to tell them the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody that's going to, even if it's hard, even if it's not necessarily what they want to hear, it's not what everybody else is saying, but it's truth, and it's God's word. They're not wanting you to just kind of powder coat it or just go, okay, listen, let's try to this is going to be hard medicine, let's put some sugar on it and make it sweeter. They just listen, just tell me the truth.
Totally.
Is this, if it applies to my life, is it going to make my life better? And so what I saw in our youth ministry and what we're seeing as we've traveled across this nation, youth ministries that are really exploding, and not just in numbers, but more in depth. They're really just being truthful. They're not shying away from some of the topics.
Yeah.
They're going head on into some hard topics about sexuality. They're talking about suicide, bullying. They're talking about being alone, depression. They're talking about things that a lot of times we don't know quite how to address.
Yeah.
And they're addressing them, and they're telling them the truth, and they're seeing kids being pulled out. And what's happening is they're inviting their friends.
Yeah.
It's almost like the woman at the well. You know, Jesus told her the truth. He said hard truth. He was there, he was consistent, he was authentic, but he tells her the truth. And what's so crazy is the disciples knew Jesus, they had all the understanding, they had all the education, but instead they only come out with sack lunches.
Yeah.
But this woman who encounters Jesus by this truth comes out and brings the entire city and says, come and meet the man that told me everything I've ever done.
Yeah.
And I just really think that if we really want to make an impact on teenagers, we're just going to tell them the truth and do it in a loving way.
Yeah.
Because you can say the right things in a wrong way, and all it does is create scar tissue and damage.
Yeah.
We have to love them, and that would be almost like number 4, is you have to love, because, man, one thing that teenagers, anyone, it don't matter, teenagers, kids, adults, they're looking to be loved.
Yeah.
And so you do anything in love, and it's going to be accepted.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, it's so crazy to think how the simplest thing we can do is just love people. And a lot of times that's the thing that we struggle the most to do.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it might be, I feel like, out of that hurt and out of that struggle to even feel loved ourselves, where then it's hard to extend that love out to others. And so
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know, I asked a bunch of kids one day what the hardest part about, like when they're nervous, when they're starting high school or starting middle school, what's the hardest thing? What's the thing that makes them the most nervous? And I've asked a lot of kids, even here at this camp, what are you most nervous about? And they say to be accepted, to find friends. But here's one that really blew my mind, is they're like, I just want to have somebody to sit down at lunch with.
Yeah.
And that's nervous. Walking into that cafeteria and maybe not having a table to sit at and being alone. And so in youth ministry, we've got to make space at our tables in our community for everyone to be welcome and to be loved and embraced, and never to destroy that awkwardness. If they're going to walk in our youth ministry, that they're not going to walk in strangers. They're going to walk in and feel loved. And so I think that's one of the biggest wins.
Definitely. Well, so Pastor Jayme, if people want to be able to follow up with you more and kind of see more of what you're doing and what you have kind of going out there, how can people follow up with you?
Man, we have a couple different things. You can go, we do all the social media. We do Instagram, Jayme Montera, and I spell with a Jayme. So Jayme Montera. They can go to Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. But we just launched this thing talking about getting real and being authentic. We launched a YouTube channel, my 3 children and my bride. It's called Absence of Perfect. Because the one thing we don't want to do is act like everything is perfect all the time. We just want to pull out the filters, be real. And so they can go to YouTube and follow us and subscribe at Absence of Perfect. And we have an Instagram of Absence Perfect. We have all kinds of different things, but they can go on and follow us there.
Very cool. Good deal. Well, thank you for being willing to do this.
Absolutely.
And thank you guys for checking this out. Make sure to go check out everything Pastor Jayme has. Leave a like on this. Comment down below if you have any questions or thoughts or anything like that. And subscribe to this channel, and also subscribe to his over on Absence of Perfect.
Go smash subscribe under him.
Appreciate it.
Awesome.
All right. See you guys later.